We are live and back for our third final segment of Sports Universe. Wrapping it up with an NFL Week 9 predictions, previews, whatever you want to call it, questions, concerns. Starting off with Jets at the Dolphins Sunday at 1 o'clock. Brock Osweiler getting the start at quarterback for the third straight week. Thoughts?
That's a New York Jets loss. As simple as I want to say it, you're on the road. We don't win on the road. We're playing the Dolphins, who have been fairly good this season.
Yeah.
And Osweiler's been playing much better than people would have thought. We're going to see a lot of. Well, he does not. No, we're going to see a lot of nonsense on Sunday. We're going to see a lot of the New York Jets playing New York Jets football, and that is incompetent white flag football, where we give up by the third quarter and start punting it on 4th and 2 when there's a minute left, by one score. So I wouldn't be surprised to see anything less.
Well, I think the Jets are going to come out balling. I think they're going to win this game. I think Sam Darnold's going to have a day. I think he's going to have the best game of his young career so far, and it's going to be a pleasant surprise for Jets fans.
I think that if the Jets are healthy and their weapons on the offensive side of the ball do wind up playing, as in Robbie Anderson and Quincy Enunwa, they are going to pull out the W.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Osweiler is not a capable NFL quarterback. Don't let him fool you from his past couple performances. He's not a guy that's going to lead a team to multiple victories. The Jets defense is good. They're young. They're fast. They're going to confuse Osweiler. Exene, I see you shaking your head. I know you disagree. You're just so fed up with Todd Bowles that
he's a Jets fan.
You can't see the clear picture that the Jets are improving.
You're just like my brother.
What they do is they play 3 quarters of good defense, and by the end of the third quarter, they start giving up bombs.
It's because their defense is on the field for the whole
No,
first
but I mean,
3 quarters.
Exactly, though. But you give up, these bombs on one-on-one coverage, demoralizes the team. They go out there. They're obviously not going to score more than 3 points more than 50% of the time. It's discouraging. And I don't know why this week would be any different, especially on the road.
I think the Jets flipped the script this week. And
look at the Jets schedule coming up. They're sitting at 3-5 right now. They have a banged up Miami team nonetheless. Albert Wilson is out, as well as Kenny Stills is looking like Dolphins sit at 4-4. Jets next week have Nathan Peterman and the Bills.
Still wouldn't be surprised.
They could potentially be sitting at 5-5 going into a bye week.
I still wouldn't be surprised
with New England after that at home.
If you lose, if you lose both of these games, and I'm going to say
then the season's over.
The season's over.
You lose this week,
Bulls got to go.
Yeah.
Bulls got to go.
Absolutely.
You think they're fired mid-season?
I think if they lose to the Buffalo Bills at home,
I don't think they would fire him mid-season, but he's got
to go. If they lost to Nathan Peterman, gone.
I don't think they would fire him mid-season. I just don't think the Jets ownership has the backbone to do that.
Yeah, no. I think we have enough Jets talk for the show today. We could ramble on all day if we had to. Moving on to another marquee 1 o'clock game. Steelers at the Ravens. Big NFC North rivalry. Pittsburgh comes into the game 4-2-1. We're adding a hot streak. Baltimore 4-4 after a loss to Carolina last week. Thoughts, questions, concerns?
I really, really think the Ravens are going to win this game. I think their defense is one of the best in football, and I think they're going to show it at home on Sunday, and they're just going to shut down Big Ben and that Steelers offense. Without Le'Veon, not much.
I think the Steelers are going to win this game. I think the play of James Conner has been very, very good in replacement of Le'Veon Bell. I think Roethlisberger is going to have a good game. I think it's going to be close, but I definitely don't see the Ravens sneaking away.
Steelers.
Yeah.
Ravens did pick up a win in Week 4 on the road in Pittsburgh. A lot of comments have been made this week from Baltimore defensive coordinator about Le'Veon Bell, comparing him to James Conner, saying that Bell is not really a factor. Do you think that lights a fire under a couple Steelers players? Do you think any thoughts?
I really don't, because the game? It really is it seems like that a lot of the Pittsburgh Steelers players have given up on Le'Veon Bell. They've just accepted that he's not going to be there, even though he could show up whenever. And they're all aboard the James Conner train, and I think rightfully so, because he's a baller.
I do really like the play of James Conner. I think he's a capable starting NFL running back.
Mm-hmm.
He's proven it through the first 8 weeks of the season so far, and I don't think there's any reason why they should even consider bringing back or talking about Le'Veon Bell at this point of the season.
I agree.
I think, though, on a secondary note, I think this whole Le'Veon Bell situation has sparked some debate behind the current collective bargaining agreement between the Players Association and the ownership. I mean, the fact that a guy can get franchise tagged more than 1 year in a row. I mean, I get the salary increases exponentially, but what most professional athletes want in free agency is long-term stability and guaranteed money.
And they want their guaranteed
when
money.
You're having a guy playing year to year where he could break his neck 1 year.
Especially at running back.
Exactly.
The career of a running
3
back
years.
is 3
About.
years a little short.
Yeah.
I'd say like 5-6 years is
Five
like
to
that's going to be his
years.
prime
It's
prime years.
It's just, I think that's something that needs to be looked at. I think 1 year is okay. Having him at one of the most highest paid to essentially force him to stay is one thing, but to have him do it, I think this would have been the 3rd year in a row they would have tagged him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, that's ludicrous.
No, they'll definitely change that up when the next CBA comes out.
Exactly.
When is that, by the way? Do you guys know?
I-
It's coming up.
It
in like
comes
a
up.
couple
It's-
year or
it's
two,
a-
I think.
I think the CBAs generally expire every 10 to 15 years.
I think it might even be like sooner than that.
Could be.
Because they probably always want to change it. But let's just hope there's not another lockout.
Exactly.
So, Exine, who you taking in the game? Steelers, Ravens. Ravens home.
I'm saying the Ravens are definitely going to pull through with this.
I
Or no,
agree.
I said the Steelers. I'm sorry. Steelers are going to pull through with this. I said Big Ben was going to play well.
I could see it, yeah.
I think they're at a point now where this is a make or break game for their season. So yes, Steelers.
I'm going to go with the Ravens. I like their defense. I like what they've been able to do on the offensive
I like John
offensive side
Brown.
of the ball, running the football, ground and pound, opening up for Joe Flacco a little bit. I think they're a very
John
underrated
Brown has
team.
been very, very, very good for them.
Exactly.
Very underrated.
Moving on to America's game of the week, 425 Fox. Rams at the Saints. Rams come in undefeated 8-0. Saints 6-1. Most likely should be 7-1 as they lost to Tampa Bay week 1. Two of the best teams in the NFC, if not the two best teams in the NFC. Do the Rams remain perfect?
In my opinion, I think the Rams stay perfect. I think Jared Goff's play has been great. I think the defense has been great. I think it's going to be a shootout, and I think it's going to be a close game that's going to end by another, single-digit margin. But I just there's no way I could see the Rams losing this game.
I think this game goes to New Orleans, and the deciding factor, I think, is that it's in New Orleans. Going into the Superdome and winning is really, really hard to do.
Yeah.
And like a lot of places, I don't believe in home field advantage. There's very few places where I think it does play a factor.
That's
this is one of these places.
The only factors where you see home field, I think you would have to be New England,
Seattle.
Philadelphia,
Lambeau.
Seattle, New Orleans, and
Lambeau.
maybe Lambeau.
Yeah,
That's about
Lambeau
it.
too.
That's about it.
Mhm.
But I really like the Saints this year. They were my preseason pick to win the NFC and go represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. I think the Rams ultimately are going to end up finishing the season 14-2. They're not going to go undefeated, and I think this is going to be one of their 2 losses.
Wow. Okay.
New Orleans is riding a big hot streak after a bunch of big wins, especially last week on the road in Minnesota. That's a big win for New Orleans. Drew Brees is playing at as a high level as he ever has in his career. They've got the weapons. I really like what they're doing to utilize Alvin Kamara this season.
Yeah.
I think this is definitely going to be a one-possession game and a game that's going to come down to the wire. But I'm taking Drew Brees over Jared Goff any day of the week.
Me too.
That's just my opinion on it. Exine, do you have a rebuttal or?
My only rebuttal is I'm going to have to agree with your dad on the situation. I think Jared Goff is a fantastic quarterback, and I think he's
agree.
really coming to his own this year.
Absolutely.
I'm not disagreeing that
I think-
Jared Goff is a fantastic quarterback.
He's not a Hall of Famer
think,
yet.
I think he's fantastic to the point where they're going to stun the Saints.
I
don't even if they win that game, they're not really stunning the Saints. They're 8-0 and the best. They're statistically, I think, the best team in
The
football.
team wouldn't be stunning the Saints, but I think Goff would be stunning the Saints. I mean, for a guy like Goff to come in there and do that would be interesting.
I don't think it'd be a big surprise. He's been playing some good football starting from the beginning of last year. So we'll see what happens.
Wrapping up this segment and wrapping up the show for today, we're going to talk about Packers at the Patriots, Sunday Night Football, 8:20 on NBC. A lot of talk, a lot of hype around this game. Rodgers versus Brady. Patriots coming at 6-2. Green Bay 3-1. Thoughts? Brendan, you lead it off. Brendan, lead it off.
I'm thinking Brady is going to win this game for the Patriots. I'm thinking, especially at home, Packers have been struggling. They even traded away some defensive pieces. It would be an absolute shock to see them lose.
I agree with you there, Ecclesburg. I think that despite Aaron Rodgers being an animal, I I just don't think that the Packers have enough on defense to stop Brady
Definitely.
in that high-powered offense.
Especially on the road in New England. It's going to be
it's one of the
a
toughest
tough
places to
task
play.
for the Green Bay. I think it's going to be people are expecting this game to be close, back and forth. I honestly think New England's going to run away with it late in the game. They're going to get a couple stops on defense, maybe a turnover or two, and they're going to ultimately end up winning this game by 10 to 14 points.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, for Tom Brady to still be playing at the level he is at 41,
we'll never see anything like it again.
No, granted, he doesn't throw the ball down the field as much as he used to. He
doesn't need to, though.
Doesn't need to. He's got the weapons around him. He throws the ball 5 to 10 yards down the field, and his playmakers do the rest.
Yep.
The yards after the catch on the Patriots, especially in guys like Edelman, James White.
That's how they make their money.
Yeah, exactly. That wraps up our show for today. Thanks for tuning into Sports Universe. Catch us again, same time next week, 2 o'clock. Thank you very much. For Brendan Exene, Kevin Jacoby, I'm Jack Hasselhoff, signing off.